name is Jim Surace, and this is Spiritual Sunday. The topic today is good things are not always God's things for you. In the book of Proverbs, it says, many are the plans in a man's heart, but the purposes of the Lord will be fulfilled. For me, I had my own set of plans. I had a moment with God in 1990 that changed everything. As far as my directions, my mission, my vision. And from that moment, all I wanted to do was to serve his kingdom, to serve God. Well, most of you know me. I'm an SGA for American Income Life, Surace Smith Agency. And so I was in the midst of building the business back in the 90s. But to me at that time, the business was only a means to an end. That one day I would be profitable enough that I could give to charities in the amounts that I wanted to give to charities, as well as go into full-time ministry. In 2005 is when my wife Nancy and I made a decision that that's what we would do. So I took on a partner, Marcus Smith, in anticipation of mentoring him for 12 months or whatever it took. And then me and my wife Nancy were going to be off and about, change the world for the kingdom of God. Anyway, so I made Marcus Smith a partner January 1st, 2006. And in February, we decided to take a trip to Florida, me and my wife, to kind of hand over, the operations to Marcus for a week or so. And, just so he'd have the experience of running the deal. And so, but I just felt convicted that although we had many confirmations that I felt that we are on the right path, I just felt we should give God one last chance to change our directions, to change the path that we were choosing. So me and Nancy prayed about that and actually gave God a challenge of a week. But the very first night, the Lord gave me a dream. And in the dream, he told me many things, but I'll just share a couple. The most important is this. He said, Jim, your business is your ministry. And then he said, I'm going to bring a lot of young people, millennials, to you. And the third thing, and I'm going to expand your territory. At that time, we were just in Cleveland, Akron, and Youngstown, kind of a piece of Ohio, northeast Ohio. Well, since I got that dream, I told Nancy about it, and so told her God changed our marching orders, so we were going to stay put at American Income Life. So anyways, that first year, the very first year, in fact, the very week after the dream, we had a record week. And every week thereafter became better and better and better. There was increase without a doubt. And within that first year, the company called and wanted us to take over other regions in the state of Ohio, the Toledo area and the Columbus area. And that decision, it was a no-brainer because God gave me that in the dream. And we've expanded so much since that moment in 2006 that now we cover all of Ohio. But not only that, we've expanded even beyond our reach, Surace Smith, because we've had so many promotions that have come from our agency. So we've taken our culture, our God-favored, blessed culture, and been able to expand it across the nation. Now, most people will see us who know us, Surace Smith, will know us as, hey, number one, this last year was our best year ever. Over $17 million in net annualized life premium, besides having multiple promotions to the company to expand American Income Life. Now, most people will see that number one, but they'll see it myopically because it's not only that. That has just been able to give us influence in order to impact, touch others, and change lives. Since that dream, we have grown every single year. And we have, back then we gave, a lot to charity, but now we give millions of dollars. We've been able to give around the world, water wells, orphanages, schools, food, and provide food for the hungry in Africa. And, we spread out through all over the world and touching nations with our philanthropy. But through the promotions that have been birthed from the state of Ohio, we now have impacted other states we would have never been able to reach. Pennsylvania, Florida, Michigan, Indiana, Louisiana, Missouri, West Virginia, Texas, Alabama, Kentucky, and it goes on with people who've been promoted from Surace Smith and now are running other regions in the country, and most importantly, have taken the culture that was birthed here and has implanted it, in some cases supplanted it, in other cultures, again, that we would never be able to touch. And I or Marcus take no credit, really, for our growth, because it wasn't our idea, it was God's idea. My good idea to serve him and his kingdom was not his idea. I suppose, and you can look through the history in the Bible, and even with Moses, when God told Moses to go back to Egypt and tell Pharaoh to set his people free, the Israelites who were slaves in Egypt for 400 years. I suppose if Moses, once given that charge, if he would have stopped on his way to help out a city with a food bank or feed the poor or whatever, God would have not been happy. Although it's a good thing, it wasn't God's thing, it wasn't Moses' thing. So for me, what I was thinking was very small. What God was thinking was what he put in me, his purpose that would play out in a place and geography that I never imagined it. So whatever we think for us, I guess the understanding is small in comparison to God's thoughts for us, his purpose for us. So my challenge to you today is to seek God vertically for what his opinion is, what his thoughts is, what his heart is for you. Because I guarantee you, whatever you're thinking, it ain't big enough. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you. May you dwell in his house and no other this day and all the days of your life. In Jesus' name.
Subscribe today at simonarias.net.